Good afternoon, everybody. It's Sunday afternoon, the 19th of September, just after 5 o'clock. We thought we'd do an early show in lieu of grand final night. Well, sorry, Brownlow Medal night, not grand final night. Getting ahead of myself a week early. Geez, it's going to be a long week. Can't believe we're sitting in this position right now. They talk about the ultimate prelim final, which I'm told we'll just have a little chat about shortly, but both Melbourne and the Bulldogs relatively unscathed through that prelim final. Disappointing probably game for a lot of other fans of the game, but if you're a fan of the Bulldogs or a fan of the Demons, you'd be super excited about your team getting to the big dance. And speaking of the big dance, someone who loves a big dance, Glenn Curran. How are you, cuz?
G'day, Az. How are you, mate? Yeah, look, very wise words what you said about the footy, both prelims last week. As a footy purist and not having a vested interest in it, with the Bombers already being done, often prelims are talked about as being the greatest exciting games of the final series. But unfortunately, for non-supporters of the four clubs that were involved, they were both games pretty much over by at least half time. Which for a Melbourne supporter, or a Doggy supporter, that's what you want.
Yeah. Well, definitely as a Demon supporter, I was very excited that it was over by half time. But it was, yeah, let's just touch on those games for a second. You're right, absolutely. History will tell you that prelims are supposed to be one of their most exciting and have been one of the most exciting games in the lead up to the grand final. And not always does that necessarily the team that was gonna or supposed to get there gets there in the end. Hence what happened with the Bulldogs. But geez, how good were the Bulldogs? Just lightning right from the start. Port never fired a shot, did they?
No, it's that I spoke to my old man not long after that game, and obviously Dad being into his 70s and a bit of an old style sort of football follower. As he said, and then even again when I spoke to him this morning about the footy, they've got that terrible thing from a Melbourne perspective that you might be. They've got momentum, the Doggies, and look. Everyone talks about history when you speak about finals in footy and that sort of stuff. It's looking a bit like, unfortunately for Melbourne, Essendon back in 1990, when Essendon only played, I think, 2 games in about a 3-week period because of the draw between West Coast and Collingwood. Now, history is history, but that is 31 years ago, and I think Melbourne, as a neutral supporter, to me, Melbourne have been the best side in it this year consistently for the majority of their rounds. They've thoroughly deserved their home and away finishing on top, and their form since has only franked that. The Doggies, for the majority of the year, were probably second or third. So I think we've got the 2 best sides in it. It's just now, for me, I can't wait. Obviously, as you know, my mother's a mad Melbourne supporter. My stepdaughter's a Melbourne supporter. And so are both my in-laws. Obviously, one of my best mates in you is a Melbourne supporter. I think a lot of people are helping Melbourne to win one because there is that belief amongst a lot of people. It is their time. They are due. I just did a quiz with my family about half an hour ago. They have got, unfortunately, the longest sequence without winning one. So I think it's about time that they won one. And I think, looking at all the info in front of us, I think they're ready.
Yeah, well, it's a nervous time for me to hear that. Generally, as a Melbourne supporter, as you know, but I've never been more excited at this time of year. September's new to us, mate, and we haven't been there for a little while. And speaking of Mr. September, let's bring him up. How are you, legend? Lovey?
Good, mate. How are you?
Good, mate.
Welcome back. Mate? Yeah, thank you. Good. It's been a while, a whole week. It's felt weird not having the grand final yesterday. Actually, it was quite strange. I remember I was out and about, and I'm thinking, well, we should be having the grand final. I mean, I'm kind of glad we're not, but give us another week to think about footy. And I think I was saying to you just before, mate, while I was out and about, that sort of it's a bit vacant this weekend. But then what are you going to do once football's actually finished between now and cricket? Cricket doesn't start until November, so space it out as best we can, I guess. But yeah, I don't have to be nervous this week. I know you're nervous as all get out. So I hope you're holding up all right, mate. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I am actually. I've reached out to a few mutual Demon fans, and they're still pushing the lid down at the moment, trying to hold that lid. They haven't really blown it off yet because they know full well what the Demons can do, especially when they're. I can't imagine, or I can't think of the last time we actually went in as favourites to a game like this. So, especially a grand final. I don't think, not in my living memory, have we been a favourite for a grand final. So. That's an exciting thought, that's for sure. Being favourite for a prelim's one thing. Favourite for the big dance is a whole different story, isn't it? As you boys know full well, for our last appearance in 2000, very different story. The Demons of today versus the Demons of 2000. But just tell us a little bit about going in as a fan, going in as a firm favourite. Which I think largely we are still as Demons, but there's still plenty obviously pushing very hard for the Doggies. So it's pretty close to an even bet, I reckon, right now. Give us your thoughts, Cuz.
Look, I think so. Look, as a Bomber back in 2000, we were a very good side. We at the stadium, the complete obvious, but there's still that degree of, I suppose, I'll use the word nervousness, but I think that becomes with the ownership of, we've done everything we need to do so far. Let's bring to the table what we do well. Our goal kicking, our marking, and that sort of stuff. But then, as Lovey knows, being a senior coach, and I've done some coaching as well, and then as a supporter, that's the joys of our game, or any sporting game, or anything in life. There's always the uncontrollables as well. You could go to the MCG, you'll pick your best available side, your best 22, and then 5 minutes into the game, someone does his knee and someone else does that, and then, God, we've got to go to plan B. We've got to go to plan C, whatever. I think for Melbourne, they've done everything that they can do, that they can control. They've been challenged at times. They've got a few demons, pardon the pun, from the past and when they've had appearances in finals and what, but they seem to be pretty complete. It's hard looking at it from the outside. I can't find a weak link in their arsenal, and I mean that both on field and off field at the moment. What do you think, Lowy?
I'm probably going to be different to you on a few of those things, so I don't think their history really worries them too much at all. They're their own team. They're their own mentality, and they've shown that all year. I do agree. I think there's very little that's wrong with what they do on field. So it just gets back to being all in their head. If I'm a Melbourne supporter and for the first time in living memory, I'm going into a grand final as the favourite, which they are, and they actually should embrace that. I recall going into many grand finals as an Essendon supporter, very spoiled. 1985, we were the favourites. 1990, we were the favourites. 93, we were the favourites. Year 2000, we were the favourites. Year 2001, we were the favourites. And we earned that right, and we deserve that right. And we always felt confident that our football team was going to get the job done. So that's what I reckon Melbourne fans should do. Be confident that your team is going to get the job done. And you know what? If they don't get it done on the day, you didn't play. You're a supporter. You're a fan. Didn't work out. You should be wrapped. Your team was in there, had a crack all year, represented your club as best they possibly could. And it's a shitty cliche, but there's always next year, and they're going to be good enough to be back up there next year. So for me, I think there's everything to lose for sure. I mean, the Bulldogs have got everything to lose as well. But I think that if I'm a Melbourne supporter right now, embrace it. You know, this whole the lid's still on crap, well, you're following Melbourne for all the wrong reasons, as far as I'm concerned. I think you just got to just get out there and enjoy it. Paint your bloody house, Melbourne, red and blue, and put fucking paint on your car tyres and all sorts of stuff. Why not? Just do it, and because you don't know when you're next going to be there. So,
Yep.
I reckon get into it. I mean, look at your top. Did you print that yourself, or did you purchase that through the shop? What's going on, mate?
No, this was very much purchased through the mighty Demon shop, mate, and great job to the Demon shop being able to jump on that quickly.
It's a great little slogan. It's a good little slogan.
It is, and I actually hope. Obviously, most clubs traditionally have a slogan for each year, but I'd actually love to keep this one for a little while, especially if hell ain't a bad place to be, as AC/DC say, mate. So I'd love us to keep this one for a little while. And speaking of wagons and bandwagons, obviously this is kicking around in WA at the moment,
nice.
Which is a beautiful, beautiful thing to see and to jump on board. Obviously promoting tourism WA, but there's definitely a little bit room left on this wagon.
Is that how everyone's pretty much going to get to the game over there in Perth, by camel? That's how they normally transport, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is going to be a camel.
I mean, they're still back at the 1920s over there. They're still quite dinosaur in the way they go about things. So,
quick shout out to our WA friends, by the way, too.
Don't care.
We don't have to be too nice to them. They're not letting us in a hurry. So
that's not a tourism ad. That's actually an instructional ad. Once you get off at the airport, that is how you get around, by camel.
Speaking of man,
it's interesting what you said, Lovey. Sorry, that we talk in life. We've all got children at various ages and whatever, or young adults now, all of them. We talk about ownership, and when we were younger, you had to work hard when you ran in a race at school and whatever. And then there was that period of time where if someone fell over, they were given a ribbon, whatever.
Naturally gifted, mate.
It's actually not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to be a bit of arrogant and think, hang on a minute, we're the best side in it, Melbourne. So let's be that. Let's be the best side in it. And as you said, Lovey, I think I haven't got a crystal ball and I can't see into the future, but I can't see them falling off the radar. That they've got a bit of a steely resolve about them as a unit, not as a group of individuals, but as a team. And I know that's a cliched comment, but you watch how they go about their play. The biggest thing I take out of it when I watch Melbourne play or watch their games, as a coach, I often say it when I'm coaching juniors or seniors. I know I've heard you say it all the time. The first thing you do when you go and play a game of football, but in sport, enjoy it. You watch their faces. They are loving what they're doing. They're having fun.
Yeah, they are. Yep, absolutely. All right, let me cross back to my my wind up and lead in before you chopped it in half. But as I was talking about being on the wagon and this jump aboard the Demons bandwagon, once again, thanks to you two boys jumping on our wagon. But we've got another good friend of ours that's definitely jumped on our wagon. And there's no doubt if the Bombers can't get it done, he's hoping his Demons do. So here, let's bring him on. G'day, Dave. How are you, great man?
Have a look at you. Any port in a storm, Dave Cosma. Any port in a storm.
Good to see you, boys. I'm on the wagon, and I've even taken a turn every now and then to driving the bastard.
Jesus.
Yes, it's a big bus.
So remind me whose scarf that is again.
That'd be Aaron's scarf, mate.
Yeah, okay.
Now, I'm more concerned
about
your
friends. Probably got about 100 of them anyway.
The other night, mate, when I watched your wonderful bit of movie work on Facebook, who are your friends you were going to go to the chalet with? Was that Aaron and Seitel you mentioned? I didn't quite catch the names.
Yeah, I think it was.
It was them, wasn't it?
Amanda and Jared, which I think was code for Aaron and Seitel for sure.
Because I watched
earlier
today, Dave. I actually watched Dan Andrews' press conference, and he actually mentioned you.
Me?
Because I know you get a mention in the ones that you do. He actually said, Dave Cosma, just want a quick shout out to Dave. He puts me on all these things.
about time you gave me a little bit of credit.
You've made him the person he is, tongue
Yeah.
in cheek.
A little bit of credit when it's due, mate.
I tell you what, I was looking at the video you put together. You left him speechless. That's the funniest bit. I mean, that guy can talk through wet cement, but the way you had him absolutely toasted, foot under his throat, all over his throat, the whole lot, mate. You cornered him.
Got him sorted, mate. Got him sorted. Nah, it's
How do you do it? How do you do it, mate? What's the secret for the rest of the 6.5 million Victorians? What's the go, mate? How do you persuade him?
I think it's just champagne comedy. I think when champagne comedy is involved, generally speaking, even the greats are left speechless. But your boys are right. It's just that it is weird. I was feeling the same yesterday, Lovey. You just have it's that day in September where you're feeling all bloody juiced up and excited, whether your team's there or not. And I had a little bit of a weird feeling yesterday, but I don't know. Having said that, I think we've become accustomed to things being done a little bit arse about over the last year and a half. So, a bit of a 2-week break. It's happening in another state. It feels a little bit detached. But having said that, it's I'd do anything for the Bombers to be in there. So,
Yeah, look, we might be there next year, but for now, I think we'll get behind Aaron's team. I think. The Doggies broke through, so for me, it's the next underdog that hasn't had a crack at it, and another one to tick off. The sad part will be then that everyone will go, oh, so the next biggest drought will be Carlton's. It'll be like, that one can keep going as far as I live. So I couldn't care less about that shit mob. But I'm more concerned when you talk about things going all arse about, Dave. At the moment, I totally agree. We're having to do things on the fly and. I'm going to have to adjust my drinking schedule on the grand final day because the game's at 7:15, not at 2:30. In other words, I'm going to have to find an extra 4 hours and 45 minutes to keep up the pace.
So will you start early or later, Lovey? What will you do?
No, same time, mate. No, same time as normal. That's my point, Glenn, is that I will have to just have a bit more stamina in the alcohol and just continue. But, Glenn, I'm really worried. There is something that's really concerning me right now. Has lockdown forced you away from Jody and the kids to looks like you're living in a tent? Is that a tarp up behind you? What's going on there? Looks like a big camp.
The most enjoyable thing.
Tarp.
The most enjoyable thing about doing a podcast with you three fine gentlemen and our wonderful viewers out there is I was once given some feedback by, and I will use the lovely lady's name, Jan Cusack. The show's not about me, but you three want to send to make it about me. So, okay, I'll take that on. I'm not in a tent. No, not yet. I'm actually
What the hell is that behind you?
I'm in the room where I've done some of my best work. I'll just let you figure out which room that might be. Jody and the boys are out in the lounge room getting ready for the Brownlow Medal tonight.
Yeah,
thank you, Aaron.
Quick plug for David Cosmo.
Dave Cosmo's EJ isolation sessions. That's what that's for, Glenn. Don't worry. It's all right.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to answer the question you asked me?
Well, I've got one more question. Do you lace up that canvas thing behind you, or do you just use
No, because it'd be like David Chick's finger when he got caught in that jumper. No good lacing up anymore. Not allowed to lace up.
Yeah, I know. Looks like the weather's coming in too behind you. Yeah, be careful. Just be careful.
The weather's fine in Monty.
Just be very
beautiful,
careful.
Lovely part of the world. Now, I'll give you a little update. Thank you for the question, Alan. Appreciate that. I sound like I'm at a press conference myself. Little update on our venture to try to find the impossible pickled onion in a jar.
Hang on, I heard your brain trying to conk over there.
I may have done it.
Hey. Oh, where?
No,
I will drive and eat them.
No.
I'll drive to the
Tonight's
place
about
and
the
eat
Brownlow.
Yeah, I know, but I will drive. Give us the place.
The self-appointed Monty Mandera will get back to you.
Wow.
You've done some work. Yeah.
I've done a little bit of work for you.
Righto, there's the scoop. We will look forward to the grand final edition.
Sorry, can Dave focus on us? We got something on the stove, Dave.
I'm listening. I've got to get dinner started here, boys. It's right in the middle of.
No, I like a multitasker. What's on the menu, mate?
We're doing a classic carbonara tonight, mate.
Oh, nice.
Do you DoorDash?
Very good. What are your quick ingredients? Real quick, what are they? The cream?
Oh, you can't go wrong with cream, mushroom, bacon, garlic.
Onion?
Yes, onion, and
You put onion in it?
that's pretty much it, mate. That you need nothing more.
Any
Pickled
pasta as
onion?
well, maybe? Or?
Oh, it wouldn't be pickled onion. I don't go down to the fish and chip shop and bring it home and cook it. I can tell you that right now. That's not part of this process. But I'll go the fresh onion from the fruit monger and boil the pasta up. Keep a little bit of the pasta water just to sort of keep it a little bit moist, just to add into the end mix. And she's a bloody smother in Parmesan cheese, mate, and some fresh parsley if you got it, which I don't have any at the moment, unfortunately.
How many pickled onions do we need?
6 here.
Well, 6 over there, and I reckon 6 there, mate. And me and Az, we successfully got through our bets, so we're just sitting back and watching.
It's on
Top
us,
layers.
guys.
So let's Az and Dave, you probably need to grow a pair, the pair of you. Az, grand final week coming up. Give us something.
We don't need a bet again, mate. We don't need a bet
Give
again.
me something, mate. Give me something. The lid's off, you told me. Give me something.
Just remember.
Glenn, we have to admit we're really stupid people, so we just have to probably leave it at that.
No, Alan.
Just
no,
remember,
Alan, that's incorrect. You were very stupid and you dobbed me in as well. Remember that.
Well, you're stupid for being dobbed in, so what does it matter?
Give us an update, Dave. Where are we up to? Where are we up to with the carbonara? Give us a little blow-by-blow description. We're just to get a complete carbonara by the end of this edition.
We're just
drop that in there.
We're just frying off the mushies and the bacon, mate, and
frying up a treat.
And of course, you're going to add the garlic a little bit later in the mix because if you add it too soon, you know that's going to just burn, baby burn. We don't want to do that.
Quick question: Do you put chicken in it with it? Do you dice chicken into it?
No.
Okay.
No, just bacon, mate. That's the job.
Is it the spices, mate, or is it the way it's cooked?
It's the way it's cooked, buddy.
Nice.
Yeah.
So there you go, Dave. You just give me a little gem just then. I'm the first one that throws in the garlic early, and obviously burns the garlic. So just give us a little bit of tell us a little bit about that, a little Italian secret, mate.
I was almost disappointed with you, but that was
you can't really burn the mushies, so they can kind of get in there pretty early. And your bacon, you want to fry that off, and then and your onion early on too.
Your onion has to go early. Can't have hard onion.
That's exactly right. You want to get that nice and soft and brown, and then you can add your cheeky little bit of vino in there too if you want. I tend to put a little bit. I like a little bit of sherry actually in my
baby.
Yeah,
you darken it.
A little bit of dry sherry goes astray. The old Royal Reserve. When I cup, Nan used to like a little tipple of that of an evening.
Just drop a bit in there now for us, mate, and have a sip while you're at it. Just give us a taste of the sherry. What's it like? Just put up the disclaimer as responsible alcohol drinking. Just make sure that.
Yeah, what's that? We got a disclaimer there for that, Aaron.
Disclaimer.
Responsible alcohol consumption.
I got disclaimers for everything, mate.
Just make sure it's
There we go. Nice.
Beautiful. Drink responsibly, especially the $7 McWilliams Royal Reserve Sherry, mate.
Oh, top shelf.
The $7 special.
You don't want to go hard on that stuff.
Have you still seen those 1.5 litre bottles of port you can get for about $8?
Oh.
I reckon you could pair a car for $3,000. I reckon.
Taking me back to the early days. You're taking me back to the olden days there.
Yeah. That's the stuff I used to steal off Dad's shelf when I was about 12.
But you remember the real big ones? They were
refill it with water.
And they were so big, the bottle though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
God, how can anyone drink all that? But then you'd have about 3 sips and it'd be like drinking straight cordial. Especially the sweet cherry.
Unbelievable.
Keep in mind, mate, that's been the EJ's secret weapon, mate. That's what's kept it going all these years. little shot of sherry each.
Don't worry about your premium unleaded, mate. Cheapy McWilliams sherry in there. She's a beauty.
Now,
it used to be a little container. Used to be in a little container called Stop Smoke back in the day.
It's even great for the environment. It's good for the environment. Burning sherry.
Dave, who was your toughest critic in the kitchen? Who's the hardest person in the house to please?
Oh, you know what? I'm pretty lucky on that front, but the little fella can be, it was a period of time there. You probably all had this where unless it was chips and nuggets, there's no interest on nothing. There's just no interest. So I would say him at the age of, he turned 7 last week, so he every now and then will give you a little bit of a cheeky, I don't know about this, but yeah, I'm pretty good with all mine are pretty good, and the missus is okay with my cooking too. So
sorry, your youngest is 7. Well, that's fantastic. My youngest is 13.
yeah,
Still won't eat anything green.
nothing.
Yeah, look, my 2 boys were always, is there meat in it? Is there meat in it? Oh, no, isn't it?
Yeah,
No meat in it.
so ungrateful, right? Unbelievable.
Get out. I told him, I convinced them pea and ham soup. Well, technically it has ham. I mean, I don't know what part of the factory the ham came from. It certainly wasn't off an animal, but it was still meat, right? So,
well, you know, it's like that classic. It's like that classic commercial. I can't think of which one it is, but you know, when the father says to the kid, "I made your ham and cheese sandwich," and the kid goes, "Well, I don't want that. Mum always makes me cheese and ham the other way around."
Yes.
Yeah, and then he takes it away. He takes it away from the kid and pretends to remake it and brings it back. Mate, there wouldn't have been any of that in my day. It would have been like, have your bloody sandwich and I'll give you ham and cheese.
I think I remember back in the old school days, Dave, coming to school early in the morning, and we'd get close to lunchtime, and I'd be purchasing your salami and cheese and fantastic big roll that your mum had made. And
did you make Aaron pay for your food?
I think I'd be swapping you for a ham and cheese, mate.
I don't remember that. I reckon he's making that up. I don't remember that.
No, I don't doubt it.
My mum's lunch.
No wonder he's got a palace there, Aaron. You bought the food off him. It's been saving since.
Paying for the renovations.
I don't know about paying for it, but that happened at our primary school. There was a lot of trading, and we had kids who had the good biscuits, like the assorted creams, who would trade up to just your normal assorteds.
Yeah.
Who didn't want the sort of creams. They'd go to your low life, like Salada sort of action or whatever.
Low life.
I think that's another episode. I think the old favourite.
Out our way, it was more just stealing. It was you grab what you could. It was like lunch boxes were just all open. You just grab what you could. That was it.
But you boys know that you can't do that these days. I'm sure. Again, if you've got kids, probably even if they're not that young, but can't swap lunches and bloody food anymore. God forbid.
Oh no.
If you're good at it, you can, mate. It's like swapping cards and footy cards. There's always a way. You just got to keep
someone else's lunch and
keep your cards close to your chest and don't tell anyone about it.
The kid has someone else's lunch and he drops out of the fucking tree 5 meters up. Big deal. It's probably because he fell out of the tree, not because of the food. But speaking of
all because of that first kid that brought that sandwich, hey, with the peanut butter. That's cost us all some trouble.
Mate, I sent a Nutella sandwich with my kid one day to school a few years ago, and I got a letter back from the teacher, a phone call from the principal, a letter from the prime. Jesus, give me a break, mate. Well, just sending a bit of lunch to school.
Dave,
yeah.
Up until about 5 years ago, I did a fair bit of work in primary and secondary schools, working as an integration aide. And I was amazed when you walked into doesn't matter what school, whether it was public, private, secondary or primary school, when you walked into the staff room, the number of photos up on the board of kids who had allergies. Now, I'm not making light of it. When I went to primary school and even secondary school, there might have been one. It was like the AFL Hall of Fame. There's that many photos.
Back when we were at school, if you took a Nutella sandwich or something like that, the worst thing that would happen to you is the teacher would look at it and go, "That actually looks like a shit sandwich. What is in that?"
Yeah, that's right.
It's Nutella or it's crunchy peanut butter.
Yeah.
What else do you want, teacher? Well, I think your mum needs to pick up her game. That was the exact quote and comment one of my teachers made back to me one day. I said that back to Mum. Mum stormed up to the office the next day and gave him an actual shit sandwich. We had a dog, and she put it between 2 pieces of bread, put it in the Glad wrap, and said, "There you go. Please leave my son alone, and do not ever make comment about my the way I provide for my son ever again." And she politely walked out.
Good on her.
No problems ever since after that. It was hilarious. This is in grade 2. It was just, I loved it.
bloody trailed them.
I reckon that's fantastic by your mum. Look, I went to school with a lot of boys, even in primary school, who were Italian. They would bring in their pasta.
Good disclaimer.
We had a teacher who was an absolute Aussie, and she'd say, "Oh, you can't have that at school." Well, why not? It's still good food.
Yep.
All right.
Speaking of food, I've got a really quick funny story. Now, we had the dim sim debate last week.
Yeah.
Now, a very, very funny story. Last night, whilst mum's in hospital, all the rest of it, my brother and I decided to have dinner together. My brother, as a favour, ordered in the dinner for us at the fish and chip shop, and he asked for 3 fried dim sims. Now, if you think about how that's actually said, 3 fried dim sims, can someone logically or legitimately tell me, could you mistake that for 25 fried dim sims? Because when I got to the house about 5 minutes after the order had come through and they brought it home, he rang me up and he said, "You haven't got your flake. They've stuffed it up. Instead, we've got 25 fried dim sims between the 3 of us." Because that was his wife as well. I couldn't believe it. I went round there and I said to him, "Now, say to me exactly the way you said it to the fish and chip shop, 3 fried dim sims." And he goes, and my brother goes, Yeah, can I have 3 fried dim sims? Now, you're in a busy fish and chip shop. All of a sudden, I'm going, that sounds like 25 fried dim sims. So the giveaway for the confusion was, so the young girl that gave the fried dim sims to my brother looked at him and literally said, "Are you mental ordering this many dim sims?"
You'd think that would have been one of the questions, wouldn't you? You sure you want 25?
Right, that was the question, wasn't it, at the start of the order? Was, hang on, did you say 25 dim sims?
That comes back to that question. That's a good question. Of the local fish and chip shops that we frequent, that's the thing that I write down what I ask for, and then I get them to, can you just read it back to me and I tick off to clarify.
Glenn, it's not so much what you write, it's your eloquism and how you eloquently suggest what you want over
hang on,
the
did you
phone.
say eloquism?
Eloquism.
Is that a word? I like it, though. I'm going to use it.
Now, shut your face. The irony of all this is all 25 are fried. So we didn't even have a steamed dim sim. So I felt very high. In fact, I felt highly unbalanced last night by the end of it all. And
Don't tell me you seriously ate 25 fried dim sims, even between the two of you.
How many did you eat?
We got through them.
How many did you eat?
You can't waste it, Dave.
How many did you eat? You would have got double figures.
I went 15.
Oh, I love him. I dead set love him. You are a machine. I
reckon
the theory was that his wife had already ordered a couple of potato cakes with it. He already had a flake. I didn't get my flake because I stuffed up the order. So I decided, well, I'm going to get my fill. I'll have 15 fried dim sims instead.
How'd you pull up today, Lovey? How'd you pull up?
Shit. Very average.
Yeah.
When did you pull up shit? Next morning? What about 2 o'clock that morning?
Look, there's been, and look, put up your disclaimer again, Aaron. There's been a couple of episodes today, so yeah, carry on.
Oh dear, no, it's no good at all. Interestingly enough, there, Lovey, quick shout out to Chinua, our major sponsor for the last week, in relation to the dim sim edition. Had a couple of emails requesting where do they get the best dim sims. So we'll have to put those links out on the end of this show. So that was good. So interesting enough, we've spent 35 minutes talking about everything but the point of the show tonight. So Dave, just give us a quick update, mate, on the latest with the carbonara.
Yeah, carbonara. I'm down. I've reduced it all. I've gone a little bit rogue, a little bit yuppie.
Sherry.
I popped in some spinach and rocket. and I'm melting through some
Wow.
palms, and then I'll add the pasta water a little bit later, which will just bring a little bit of moisture back to the situation.
So
There
you
you
put
go.
green shit in it.
Hey?
You put green stuff in that.
Yeah, I did. I don't mind a little bit. Well, you get the veggies into the kids. I don't taste it amongst all the other bloody goodness. So,
So, mate, what time can we expect it for the DoorDash?
No, I'm not having it now.
No, Lowy won't eat it, but as an eye, pretty close, mate. Can I?
Oh, I think, Lovey, you very much are ticking all the right boxes with my dad. If you ever get to meet him, mate, he's not a big fan of the old greens. Not really on his agenda.
Shit.
Shout out.
I don't know if you'd be a fan of knocking back 15 dimmies in a row, fried dimmies in a row either, mate. That's
Well,
Hey, mate,
might be a
I can
reason he
eat.
might be a reason he had a quadruple bypass, mate. I don't think it was the old dim sims that shut him down. So, welcome back, Baz. He's back with a. He's ready to go with some more dim sims, I think. So,
I'll have a sit in with him.
He is
I'll
a bit
have
of
a
a
sit in
pickle
with him.
onion fan, I think, back in the day. So, he might have to
I'll
join
sit
the crew.
I'll sit
over
at a
Christmas.
distance. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, boys. Let's kick it off. Is there any chance this man's not going to win it tonight?
Yes.
Yep.
100%.
All right, let's start there. Maybe we start back through the bottom of the queue. And is there anyone down at Adelaide land that can
Next.
poll anywhere near enough votes?
No.
Rory Laird. Look,
Keep
Rory
going,
Laird will get the 20 plus. That's about it.
Righto.
You're
I
going
think that's
to
an
get
easy
a
one,
20.
isn't it?
You're going to get Royal to get 20 votes.
Chris Glenn. Yep, he will. He's been their best player by a mile.
Okay.
Honourable mentions to Ben Keys
Yeah.
and Paul Seedsman. Seedsman's definitely coming up. He'll definitely snag a few votes. So
He's got the
that's
parade.
Adelaide.
Is he, hasn't he? He's got the parade connection.
That's right. The nephew, of the great Terry Keys.
Yep.
And Big Terry used to be our old cleaner at Parade.
He was a
He
beauty.
was an absolute legend.
Footy against
Was an
Terry.
absolute legend. Big
He was-
Tez down at the Tigers, he was for a little period there. And boy, can he hit a cricket ball and bowl a mean bouncer back in the day. So what about
He's angry.
Brisbane? The Brisbane Lions boys. They've just had their medal.
Orko won it again.
He is the great Dane Zorko.
But he's a thief of a footballer. So anyway,
Good to see you giving him a chance.
He said to say good day to you too, Lovey.
I reckon they'll have about 5 players between 10 and 15 votes.
Yeah, I think they're well spread. You're right. I think that there's no one that's an absolute standout there this year for
I think
Dorkin,
McCluggage will get most of their votes. I think.
Cameron will get a few.
Righto, don't write off
Daniel Rich
Jared
will get
Lyons.
Even Daniel Rich will get a few too.
Yeah.
Jared Lyons is going to be up there too. He's $1.40 for their most team votes. So he's very short. All right, let's kick through to Carlton.
Laughing stock.
We're scraping a bit of the barrel at the moment, but there might be a bit of a smoky here. Who knows? Harry McCullough.
No, look, I tell you what. Yeah, I like Andrew Walsh. I think he's at the wrong club, unfortunately.
Sam Walsh, maybe.
He'll get to 20. He'll get whatever. He'll get to 20 plus pretty easily, I think. Because whenever Carlton won games, he was always the man that was punching it over the line for him, getting him over the line. His last quarters, especially, always eye catching. So for me, I think Walsh and then Daylight.
Yeah, he's a good kid, that's for sure. He'd be welcomed at any club right now. But I actually hope he wins it now that you've called his name wrong. And luckily you're not calling out the votes tonight, Lovey. You'll be all good there.
In other words, I'd actually probably fit in with how they go about it every single year. Then.
Yeah, that's right. S. Walsh, 3 votes. Righto. Let's go to the pies, boys. Let's go to the pies. Is anyone going to take any votes off anyone?
They can bloody get stuff too.
Crickets.
That's right.
Well, I think maybe Maynard will get votes.
Who?
Is it Braden Maynard?
Nah.
No, look, Grundy will get his guaranteed 10 to 15, I think, and that'll be it.
De Goey might get 1 or 2 here and there, but nothing. I wouldn't have thought much beyond that.
Yeah. Move
I
on.
think
Shit team.
without reading form, I think Taylor Adams is the man there at Collingwood if he's going to take any votes. So let's see. De Goey, Darcy Moore, and Brodie Grundy, I think, are the next one. So let's go to the Bombers. Next up, the tree.
I think
the tree I'm putting together anyway.
We'll have two standouts. Parish and Merrick, clearly. And I think for the first time in a long time, we'll have two players from our team get 20 plus each, which will be fantastic. It just solidifies how good those two have been this year. And
I think Jake Stringer's our ace in the hole too. I think he will get probably 3 to 4 best on grounds, I think.
He won't get votes first half of the year, though. That's the thing.
No, but I reckon he'll probably end up with about 12 or 15 votes.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. I reckon so too. Yep. No surprises. I don't think either of them can win it, but they'll be up there.
Yep. Top 10.
Good year for the Bombers, given where they kicked off, and it's only good things coming up from here, boys. So be proud of your Bombers.
Oh,
don't be
recognising us.
Look at that. He's got a cap.
Let me just say, I was very relieved when the Bulldogs beat you guys, because you're actually one team that I actually didn't want to play out of all the teams that were close, and it's just because of that young team. You just don't know what they're going to bring, and they just needed to turn it on, which they did a couple of times during the year, and they looked like absolute flag favourites at one stage in a couple of games. So yeah, that's what you get with young teams. We were there a few years ago, very much like that. It reminded me a lot of Melbourne from about 2 to 3 years ago. That's exactly what we got. So I honestly do believe good signs ahead, boys. All right, Freo. Let's go to Freo.
Who?
Freo, exactly. They're still in the comp, mate. They haven't got rid of them yet.
Was their best player now going to Carlton? Is that sign still delivered?
He won't be their best. He won't be their best Brownlow performer tonight, but he'll be top 2 in their BNF. But Brayshaw for me by a mile.
Yeah,
just a little one on them, boys. Sorry to little sidebar.
Mundy will get 10 votes, maybe 2.
What makes it so hard for them to keep their players?
Nothing. It's a shit place to stay.
Yeah, is that what is it as simple as that?
Yeah.
Well, it's a long way to go, and it's a long way home.
Yeah.
Frio's. I mean, it's a nice place, but yeah, it's just way too far from.
It's a nice place. It's good for holiday.
Well, we got the Bon Scott statue there, but apart from that, and
that's the only thing going for it.
It's just too far, mate. I think once you're there, once the novelty of getting drafted and playing in the AFL wears off, it's like, hey, I think I want to go home.
Now, cry me a Swan River. Move on.
I think that will be interesting to follow in the next couple of years, whether Brayshaw does stay or does he come and end up at a big club, or what ends up happening. Does he have a fairy tale wish that the two brothers play together? Who knows?
Yeah,
I think the AFL will be encouraging him to stay on.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
Right, the Cats. We are Geelong. Let's go with the Cats. Guthrie for mine.
Yeah. I would have said Mitch Duncan, but he missed probably too much footy later on.
Yeah.
Yep.
I missed heaps.
Yeah.
Danger, Selwood.
I actually reckon it could be. You could see the first offender scoring 20 votes in a year for a long, long time in Tom Stewart actually.
Tell you what, he's had a cracking year, hasn't he? Really?
Yep. Gets a lot of accolades. So
I think you're right, Lovey.
I reckon Tommy Stewart will get the 20.
Who retires from the Cats, by the way?
Who cares? Stanley. Or did
Higgins?
Stanley retire? No. Josh Jenkins.
Many as possible.
Higgins?
Josh Jenkins is definitely retired. I'd suggest Rowan's probably on the chopping block. Reece Stanley can't be going around next year, I wouldn't have thought. So,
how many can you delist?
Oh, you can put out as many as you
list
want.
them all if you want to start again.
It'll be good. Yeah, I'm not sure you can recruit that many back though. You don't get a chance to actually get them these days. If you delist them or get rid of them, you don't just.
Well,
it's
if they
not a
want to
one
stay,
for one.
if they want to stay up and about, of those 11 30-plus-year-olds, probably 7 still have to remain at least, I would have thought.
So I asked the question again, has the experience or the experiment, whatever we're going to call it, Higgins, of the Higgins, the bloke from Hawthorn, what's his name?
Isaac Smith.
Isaac Smith, thank you. And Cameron. Cameron, due is out because of injury. Isaac Smith, tick. Higgins,
See you later.
See you, buddy.
Well, they
Thanks
can't see you later. You still got another. They can't see you later. You still got another year in his contract.
He's just
He
what
can,
I don't
I'd
want
pay him out.
but he's got to be one of the softest players I've ever seen play the game. Sorry, but
So no Brownlow votes for Higgins tonight.
Well,
Disclaimer. He said sorry. Put the disclaimer up.
I'll
maybe for acting.
quick shout out to Sean. I think we're going to have to cancel that show next week to bring you on, mate. All good. Let's move on to the Gold Coast.
Hang on, sorry, Dave. Your carbonara is burning, mate.
You know what? Took Miller is a legitimate smoky for this tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
The only thing that holds him back is he gets 2s and not 3s because Gold Coast don't win games. But he's an absolute Monty to be their leading vote getter, and I'd be shocked if he wasn't 25 plus.
If you've got 18 twos, though, that's 36. That'll win it.
He's been by far and away their best footballer by a mile.
Because I agree, Levy. I think he's that player. Like if they get beaten by 7 goals or 6 goals in the game of footy, he's that bloke who gets 2 or 1 vote. He's the.
You just call me.
What's that?
Liver. You just call me Liver or Libber.
Lovey, I said.
Your speech went very, very south. Anyway.
Might be his internet.
Cool. Goodbye.
Apologies. I think Took Miller, well, not that I'm a Gary Lyon fan, but I think he spooks Miller. I think he is a gun. I'm not saying he's Gary Ablett Jr., but he will get the votes that Gary Ablett Jr. used to get, but not the 3s, as you said, though.
Yeah.
Righto.
Yeah,
let's move on to the GWS Giants. Who's going to take some votes there, boys? Josh Kelly?
The kicker.
Man?
The kicker.
Yeah, the little grubble.
The umpire pusher.
The umpire. He's done a few things this year.
I think
he'll still be their best.
Little grub will get 15.
Could he
Is he coming on the show next week as well? Sorry.
Could he be one? Could he be one that gets to the top of the tree and can't win it? Could he be one of those?
He's coming to your place, mate. He wanted to catch up for a dim sim.
I think Olmo will play pretty well. I can't think of his name off the half-back flank there. He's always got the ball and dictating play for GWS. What's his name off the half-back? Yeah, he's a bloody beauty, isn't he?
Yeah, I think they've got plenty of players. That's their issue.
They're going
to
have a lot of players probably in double figures, but no one outstanding, I reckon.
No.
Yep. Righto, the Hawks.
No one cares.
It's got to be this man, doesn't it? He's got to be their best.
It's got to be Tommy.
Again, look, he's a smoky for it, but I don't think he's going to be in enough wins.
Hard to do it in every side.
Brownlow predictors got him at 23 votes, so that could be interesting. He's going to be fairly up the tree, that's for sure. All right, let's go to my Demons.
23 won't be enough.
Is it going to be for your Demons like it was for Dave, Lovey, and my Bombers in 93? Brownlow Medal and a premiership.
Oh, what a year.
Well, my concern is vote stealers that have always cost us when we're having a good season and we have a couple of players that get 15 to 18 each. I think, look, it's Oliver's. To me, it's Oliver's to lose like it is the Demons premiership to lose right now. I think Oliver's done enough. It's one of those ones, though, that there's so much expected of him now that he's expected to get 30 plus every game, and it doesn't really bat an eyelid anymore. The question is, once again, it's a midfielder's award, sadly. So he sits right in that spot. The question is, best and fairest is what I raised the title as. and is it as such anymore? And obviously he fits that bill. What's your thoughts, boys, on who can do it at the Demons?
I think Oliver. Look, when you talk about vote stealing and teammates pinching votes off each other at the Brownlow, it's really crap when your favourite gets none of the votes at all and someone else pinches it. But I honestly think Oliver could be involved in as many. I mean, how many wins for the year? Is it 18 wins, 19 wins for the home and away season? He'll vote in at least 17 of those alone. Yeah. So if you
you don't need to be best on.
If you just consistently keep getting votes throughout the night, I think that'll help immensely.
Yep. Well, the Brownlow predictors got him at 34 votes, so that'll be that should be enough to get it done, but it's going to be tight. And the next best at Melbourne, Petracca on 25, so maybe not as much vote stealing as I indicated, and Max Gawn only at 13. So it's going to be an interesting one, that's for sure.
Well, the other guys that'll do all right for you too, I think, and it's funny, it's defenders. It's not a defenders medal, but I reckon Stevie May will pick up a few votes too.
Lever.
Yeah.
No, not as much. Even umpires know you can play loose. It's fine, but if you're beating the forward week in, week out, they consider that a little bit more these days, from what I know. So,
but do you think May plays a bit loose, Lovey, though, well at times?
No, he just reads the play as good as anyone I've seen since probably Sean Norman.
He's a beauty.
Yeah, I've watched a bit of Lever back recently, and he's always actually on his man, but he makes the decision real early to go off him, and that's when he does cut it. So he's just quick, and he gets to that right spot. And as you know, you can be quick, or you can move to the right position quickly. And if he just knows where to be and gets there quickly, he just chips them off. Obviously, you got one of those over at Port as well. With Aliir doing the same thing at the moment. So he's learning from a couple of the best, that's for sure. So let's go to North. Is anyone going to poll a vote at North Melbourne?
Next.
It's a worry, isn't it?
Look,
maybe Cunnington earlier from the season, but apart from that, nothing.
And Zerha might get one or two best on grounds, but he doesn't do it often enough, unfortunately. And I'm not saying that as a knock. That's just an observation.
You know who will probably poll the most votes just because of pure stats? It's Steele. So when the umpires look at all the stats, they say, "Oh shit, he's picked up 30 odd even in a losing team. Oh, we'll give him a vote." He might get a lot of that stuff tonight.
Yeah, once again, Brownlow predictors got Cunnington at 12, and Jai Simpkin at 10, and then it's daylight after that with a couple of guys at 3. So there's not going to be too many votes. They might pick up 25. I reckon they get under 30 as an entire team. What do you reckon, boys?
Oliver will outvote the whole of North Melbourne. Yeah.
If they get more than 30 votes, I will.
Here we go.
Here we go. Hang on. Here we go. No, you've started it. Finish it, Dave.
No, nothing. I'm just taking the piss, cuz.
Come on, mate.
You got to know when to.
No action.
Well played, Dave.
It's that song from Kenny Rogers, Glenn. We've just got to apply it a bit more.
Exactly right.
That's one thing.
Islands in the Stream, or which one? You sang a few songs, mate. Coward of the County.
Yeah, well, probably that one too. Righto, Port Adelaide.
Well,
Oliver Wines. 3 votes. I now declare Oliver Wines the winner of the 2020 Brownlow Medal.
I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced he'll win it.
I don't think he'll win it.
I'm not convinced.
I don't think he'll get it. I think Travis Boak alone will take a few votes off him.
Yeah, I think, talk about vote stealing before, that is one club that will steal votes off each other, and Travis Boak will get more votes than Ollie Wines.
Sorry,
that's
I'm just watching the cook on the top corner. It's interesting viewing.
Dave's burning the water.
Listening in,
There you go, there, Dave.
I'm looking for the strainer, mate.
That's all right.
Look. I like
Ollie
Wines as a chance, but I tend to agree with you. Like, they are perennial vote stealers for many years, and I think you might have touched on, Lovey, it might have been you, as Aliir will get votes. He'll get a lot of votes. To the way he plays, he's very
well. Let's see.
Obvious in the way he plays.
But you just gave Lever nothing.
Yeah.
and Alira Lear.
No, I
Alira
didn't
Lear
give
on the
Lever
same
nothing.
role.
No, Lovey gave
No,
Lever
that's
nothing.
right. No, I know Lovey gave him nothing. But I
I'm
think
a
we
defender.
worked it out.
I rate defenders.
I'm not
Lovey's
the
a
one putting
midfielder.
Alira up. I'm not the one putting Alira up. I don't think
No, I'm
Alira
not
will
putting
get
him up.
5 votes for the whole year.
I'm not saying you're going to win it, but he will get a lot of votes because of the way he plays.
Did Dave turn his camera off then because he blew it up, or what's the go?
He's overheated the kitchen.
Is everything safe, Dave?
Family just rolled back, so I popped it on mute.
Hang
Guys.
on. We've got a
You
visitor.
got the fire blanket out?
Hello. Who have we got?
Georgie,
Hello.
we're talking.
Georgie's
Is
a
Dad a
little
good
star.
cook?
We're talking footy. We're talking footy.
Oh, yeah.
Even the wife's here. This is-
Well played.
Hang on.
Well played.
Hang on.
Shaz is here. Shaz is
Hang on.
up.
They're all here.
No, Shaz.
I'm qualified to be in this conversation.
No, you're not.
No.
You're not.
No, you are. You're you
Excuse me,
prepared that
Shaz,
cheese
before you
platter
go,
beautifully for that
on a
ad.
scale of 1 to 10, how good is carbonara?
It's probably like an 8.5, I would say.
Ooh.
Oh,
The
jeepers,
bacon,
that's a-
bacon that it's just, yeah. If it wasn't for the bacon, it'd be like a 10.
Well, we believe he's changed the ingredients slightly tonight, so anything could happen.
Dave, did you just head wobble then? Was that a bit of a...
He shunted the sherry into the carbonara. You a fan of the sherry being in there?
Sharing tonight.
Controversial,
And
okay.
there's
I'll let you know.
And the greens
Please
are
do.
in too. The greens are in.
Please do.
Yeah.
He's put green stuff in there. That's
Oh,
dumb.
hello, boys. Enough of this.
Hey, Dave, just pass on to Shaz. What a fantastic effort, because she's the only partner who have made her way onto the podcast.
So I'm sorry about that. That was a bit
No, don't be
impromptu.
sorry. No, we're all about equality.
And
Hang on, what's going
no.
on here? Is this
Oh,
Just
where's
a
he
Blair
going? We're
Witch
in a dark
project.
tunnel. Hang on, where are we going now?
we're going
Yeah,
through.
just
We're
on
going.
this.
Which?
There we go.
Just on this, what really scares me, and we better put the disclaimer up that Dave's about to burn his kitchen down because he's left a carbonara on the stove, boys. So just be wary. Let's set the timer, Dave.
I've come out of the kitchen. It's going to all turn to crap in a sec.
Righto.
So where do we get to?
Oh,
We
don't
got
worry.
to Port.
Righto, we got past Port. We declared them. No, we declared.
No
You
chance.
declared a winner there, Cuz. That's for sure.
No,
You
I
declared
didn't, Aaron.
Ollie
Don't
Wines.
tell-
You did. You declared it.
What did I say?
You
Repeat
Ollie
said
myself.
Ollie
Wines,
Wines.
because
I'm
you
going
know
now.
that.
It's Ollie Wines.
I
Yeah,
declare
fine.
the 2021 AFL Toyota bloody Brownlow season medalist. Ollie Wines is what you said, cuz.
Okay, but I didn't
Correct.
say
You're a
I'm going to
flog,
bet on it.
Glenn.
That's my
You're a
opinion.
Glenn. Shut up.
I'm a
You're a
Glenn.
flog.
Yeah, I'm a Glenn. Thank you very much for stating the obvious. Go and eat your
Righto.
25 fried dim sims, you bloody Neanderthal.
Righto, have a rest, Cuz. Have a rest. Righto. Who's next? Let's get into the Tigers. And there's no bigger Tiger man than this man, Eddie Zammit. Can't stay. He's just got a quick hello. No Tigers for him. Clayton Oliver for him as well. So he's
Good call.
super pumped. And
Cool.
we've got a little bit of gold to deliver, which I'm going to deliver on the next show that Eddie Zammit's helped me with. You can probably
Richmond.
put 2 and 2 together. So no, not for Richmond, but Eddie Zammit's been behind a few good messages over the years that have put his team in the right track. So let's just leave it at that for now. Righto, let's go with the Tigers. It's probably, I reckon it's going to be a bit of a mixed bag. There's going to be a lot of players with about 7 or 8 or 9 votes out of the Tigers.
This is
this year.
fantastic. Great.
Yeah.
I think Dusty will probably still be their highest vote getter, but I don't see any of them being above 12.
Yeah, I think you're right. You've called it
you're right.
spot on, I reckon. Dusty has been predicted for 12, Rewell for 7, Cochin and Shea Bolton for 6 each. So it's going to be a lot around that 6 or 7 vote mark, I think. So let's move on from the Tigers. Interesting enough, we're not talking about the Tigers at all this year after all the power they've had in the last few years. It's a good changing of the guard. Be interesting to see how quick they can bounce back, won't it?
I think they'll bounce back next year. That's my view.
Yep. Just get a pre-season.
I know, as much
That's
as we
all
don't
they
want to
needed, I
admit
reckon.
that, I think they might.
Yeah, they're coming. Don't worry. They're going to be hungrier than ever after not being there this year, and they had a good taste for it in the last few years. So, righto, let's move on to another potential smoky from St Kilda. Who am I talking about, Cuz?
Now, Jack Steele.
The man of steel.
You're correct. Dead correct.
Thanks, Glenn.
How'd we go?
I love
Dave,
when we call
you didn't
ourselves
burn
by
it down?
proper names. It's very nice. It's almost formal.
I think this will be a boy that will get the 30. He won't have anyone taking votes off him. He's top 3 for me tonight for sure. I just don't reckon he's going to get enough. Again, it all gets back to like wins on the board, and I reckon he might have a lot of 30-plus games, but he's getting the 2 votes because his team didn't get over the line. Or they were absolutely horrific in the first 6-7 games this year. So he'll come home like a freight train, but it might be a bit late.
And let's be honest, boys, that makes a difference, doesn't it? Exactly what you said before, that you've got to get your team over the line. There's very rarely if you don't win, does that 3 votes go to that player?
That's why Pluggers win. Standout. That's why Pluggers win back in 87 was unbelievable. He was a full forward, and B, his team won, I think, 4 games that year. So, that's why his Brownlow Medal is just so special when he won it.
Do you think, and I know we're trying to get through all the teams, but just a quick question, do you think we'll have an individual winner tonight, or there'll be a tie, or a 3-way? What are the thoughts on that?
Ooh, let's go to that when we get the final tip in a second. But a good thought, definitely a good thought. That's for sure. The Swans. What about the Swannies, boys? I know you touched on
Parker. Luke
Parker before. It's been a long time since the Swannies won one.
Yeah. Luke Parker for mine.
Luke Parker. Yep. Callum Mills is up there for sure. I think he'll poll.
He's a jib footballer too. So
what about Heaney?
No.
Yeah,
he was injured half a year.
Heaney doesn't poll any more than 15.
No,
sadly. Yeah. And I reckon you've got a couple that Lance Franklin will take 10 or 12 maybe. So it's going to be interesting. Just wait. You just wait. Let's see the numbers. I think he just does it.
They should put his head on a charity bin. We get full. Seriously.
G'day, Lance. You
Lance,
and Sean Higgins are both coming on next week, mate. Looking forward to the show. Lovely wants to catch up with you both.
Another one crossed off the list. Thanks, Lance.
Can't do the podcast. So why can't you come on, buddy? Well, that guy McLovin. Yeah, I don't like him.
Yeah. Just make sure McLovin's not on. All right. What about the Coasters? West Coast. Are they any chance? And this great man,
just
Nick Nat-Nui, took the best and fairest.
It'll be him. He'll be on 21 votes for the year. He had a really good year. But do you reckon, those beer drinking contests each year that you do at the Brownlow, and everyone at home, if X happens and you've got to have this, how do you reckon the West Coast Eagles actually go about that with their shenanigans over the years?
Yeah, true. But you got to forget the past. You got to forget the past.
So I noticed. Yeah, I know, but I noticed they use glass tables. They have glass tables at their presentations and functions. So
good to see that Ben Cousins is back to the Brownlow tonight.
Well, there's your barometer. So I think they could go off their heads tonight. It's great.
I actually meant that seriously too. That wasn't meant to be a smart ass. I think it's good to see that he's come back.
Yep.
I'm not questioning what he's done in the past. We all make mistakes. Sometimes he's a former Brownlow medalist and he needs to be recognised for that.
Yep. There is an article in today's paper. There is an article in today's paper about Ben Cousins, and it's an interesting read, actually, boys. So let's hope that he's on the straight and narrow this time and can stay involved with some young in footy and not steer him on the wrong track. But back 2005 seemed like forever ago. But geez, he was a good player back in the day. That's for sure.
Now, speaking of people that deserve to be at the Brownlow function, before we get to our final tips, I'm going to put up a sign, and if anyone deserves to be at the Brownlow function, it's this man.
Yes, Alan.
There's not going to be too many arguments from the boys on this.
Can you put up the whole sign, Alan? We can't see the bottom line. Just lift it up a bit long. That's it.
Yep. I totally agree with you there, mate. And this will reinforce it, mate. This boy needs it back. That's for sure. So,
there is no legitimate reason why that Brownlow was taken off him. There was no evidence to suggest as much. And as for the two little pricks that have taken the Brownlow off him, at least Trent Cotchin had the plums to call him and ask if he was okay about it. Sam Mitchell, grub, filthy little player. As far as I'm concerned, the way he's also dished Alistair Clarkson along with Jeff Kennett goes to the character of that man. So, you know, they have
Well, look
got
what Sam Mitchell did the year after.
two Brownlow medalists. They've got two Brownlow medalists from that year. A, didn't win it on merit, and B, are walking around pretending they are actually Brownlow medalists. It's a farce. It's pathetic. Get Joe back in there, give him his medal, and be done with it.
The worst thing about Lovey, and I know, like you, passionate Bomber supporter, I'm not a fan of Trent Cotchin, but I respect Trent Cotchin for what he did. But the other bloke you spoke about, Mitchell, what a low life. One, he never didn't have the balls to speak to Job at any stage. And two, you saw how he behaved in that game the year after when he was given the Brownlow medal, doing that crap. That's maturity, isn't it, mate? And now you're the head of, to quote a good mate of mine and yours, Johnny Bliss, you're the coach of the shit and piss club, mate, and they're in a shit and piss position because you're their coach. Good luck, Hawkers. Get amongst it.
Here's a bit of passion for next year, that's for sure.
Karma comes back eventually.
No, seriously, when you've got sycophants like him floating around the football club, they will then wonder why in 5 years' time they are still floating around in that bottom half of the ladder as they deserve to be.
Me.
Just real pathetic little man. That's all he is.
Yeah, we won't all be disheartened, and we'll all enjoy and embrace the Hawks staying down for a little bit longer yet. That's for sure.
And then I love it. As I said, the disclaimer come up.
Yeah, correct. All right, let's go to the Bulldogs. Let's go to the Bulldogs and their main man.
I was in another team to go yet. Okay.
This young man, the Bont. How many votes, boys? Give us a number.
If I reckon I might upset a few Bulldog supporters on this.
Jackson McRae.
I actually think Bontempelli won't be their top vote getter.
Jackson McRae.
I reckon who?
Jackson McRae.
Jack McRae. I actually think. Look, Bont might be the top. Okay, so Bont may be the top vote getter. But I don't reckon he gets past 25 votes.
You put that in reverse.
I don't think he gets past 25 votes, and neither does McRae, and neither does Libber, and neither does Hunter. You get my point here? They will be the highest voting club. Yeah. They will all be taking their threes and their twos. And I said before, if you're consistently getting votes, that's cool. But they've got about 5 legitimate high-scoring vote getters here. They've only got 3 spots per round. And let's not forget their last 3 weeks were pretty poor. So I would not be shocked if Jack McRae was their highest vote getter. In fact, you know what? I'm sticking to it. Jack McRae will do more than Bond.
And the reason I say that, and I agree with you, Lovey, I think the Jack McRae thing is a bit like Tom Mitchell when he won it at Hawthorn. Jack McRae is an accumulator of the footy, but he's also a good user of the footy too.
He's a great user of the footy.
But
a really good. So if he gets it 40 times, he'll actually use it well 38, 39 times.
Yeah. But Liberal will get 20 votes.
Yeah.
And you're trying to tell me that Bailey Smith is going to go less than 15? He'll get more than 15 votes, Bailey Smith.
The other bloke too, I think it was a final. Cody Waitman would have got 3 best on ground votes for that final the other week. I know it doesn't count towards the Brownlow, but he won't get 4 free kicks in the grand final in 10 minutes. I'm pretty sure.
Where the hell did that come from? We're talking about.
We're not at the grand final. We're not in the grand final yet.
No, I'm just saying though, because I hope Cody Waitman doesn't think he's going to get 4 free kicks on grand final day.
Oh, Glenn.
Alan.
I feel your pain, Glennie. I feel your pain.
Can I show your text messages that you sent me that day?
Yeah, that's right. And I left it. There.
Yeah, that's right. Give the
boy a chance. Right there.
Give him a fresh start now. They brought him back in by the look of it. It hasn't been announced yet, but let's see if he is back in.
If it pleases you, Glenn, he'll probably kick 5 and they lose.
Oh, look, I don't know Cody Waitman. I don't dislike Cody Waitman.
Pretty sure you're not going to know him.
2 minutes ago.
He got a pretty good run.
Get the disclaimer up. As
Yeah,
get it up.
Get it up. Get it up.
Let it
Get
go,
it up.
mate.
Get it up.
Let it
We're
go.
running out of
Let
we're
it
running
go.
out of guests.
Right, run out of time.
Yeah,
Round the
we
room.
are.
Who wins it? One name each.
Clayton
Oliver for
Oliver.
me.
Oliver for me.
Oliver for me
Lovey?
too. Yep.
Oliver for me.
Yeah, I think it. As much as I'm bowing to peer pressure a little bit, I think it might be like 293 for the Bombers. Oliver wins the Brownlow and the Demons win the flag.
Right, well, give us your. That was a pretty clean sweep of Oliver. Give us your second then. Second and thirds. Lovey, kick us off.
Jack Steele.
And third.
Jack McRae.
Righto. That'll be an interesting one. Cuz,
I'll
let's go with you.
Oliver, McRae, Wines.
Righto.
Oliver. Oliver. Wines. McRae.
Hang on for a second
Righto.
there. For a second there, I thought you were saying there was two Oliver players. I'm thinking, who's the second Oliver?
Yeah, Oliver and Oliver. It
I'm looking
seems
forward to
like
Andrew
there's
Walsh
two
getting a
of
few
him out
votes
there.
tonight too for Lovey from Carlton. That'll be good.
Sorry?
Oh, hang on.
Andrew Walsh from Carlton getting a few votes.
Yeah.
You've got a short
That
memory,
was
Alan.
funny. That was funny 45 minutes ago, idiot.
Not funny,
What's yours,
it was a fact.
Aaron?
I'm going to go with Petracca second. How's that for an upset?
Ooh,
I don't think I don't know
Petracca.
if it's been done at 1-2. A 1-2. Who knows?
it has been. It has been
Has
before
been.
1 year.
Why?
I remember it has been.
Wouldn't
I
that
think
be
it's been
nice?
done once before.
They
Yeah,
both
a
were.
1-2 and Bontempelli for third, just to bring
I think
in
it
the
was.
full
I
grand
actually
final
think it
fever.
was. So the 1-2, I think it was West Coast when Benny Cousins won it, and Daniel Kerr, I think finished second that year.
Yeah, right.
And
Yeah,
the other
interesting.
quick one, because I think that's on tonight as well. And it's hard to think of them off the top of our heads because who wins the goal of the year and the mark of the year?
Eddie Betts, goal of the year.
Yep.
Okay,
Eddie Betts a good
yeah.
goal
Anyone
of
else
the year.
know who are the
Because
What
everyone's
about
contenders?
the mark?
Everyone's got the
which
whole
is the best
sympathy
mark?
thing.
That Hawthorne
Oh,
the Shea
Jack
Bolton
Revolt by
mark?
a mile.
Or
No,
Jack
Revolt
Jack
has
one?
to. Jack Revolt has to get it. Has to.
The one running back.
You got a,
Yep.
you got a pack coming at you, and you still go.
Yep.
Absolutely. Every day of the week.
There's,
Jack Revolt.
there's something about that blind courage that kind of trumps height and wow. You know what I mean? It's you look at those.
It should get more kudos because the game over the years has diminished the potential and the opportunity to show that blind courage on a more regular basis in the game.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's Rewalt and I think it's Eddie Betts for the goal.
Yeah.
Righto, Dave. We better let you go, mate. We can't be burning that carbonara. Mate, it tastes good,
Get
mate.
into it, mate.
And
Enjoy
the
David.
week.
Boys,
Yeah,
good to
we'll
chat
catch
to
up
you.
further.
Good to chat to you as always. Thanks for having me, and look forward to seeing you again on the screen. Go D.
Done,
Lovely
mate.
work, mate.
You're a legend. See you, boys.
See you, lads.
Righto, boys. Let's finish with this great bag.
Oh,
Hang on.
wow.
Yeah, I've
We're
jumped
going
on.
back a few years there. Get
Are they
get
your
on,
teeth?
boys. Get on.
Scarf. Go
Yeah.
Demons.
Hey, Aaron,
Yeah, mate.
I'm within 5 Ks of you at the moment, aren't I? I might pop around tomorrow and get some paraphernalia off you.
Get some teeth. How about this one? Hey?
Yeah.
We've got a few here.
I'll get a few things off you, mate, and I'll spread the message.
Come in.
No worries.
How much longer? I'm just being asked, how much longer is the podcast going for, gentlemen, from Jack?
We're pretty much done.
We're
We're
done.
going
mate.
for
Where's
another
your
hour,
Brownlow
mate.
tip?
What are you talking about?
Where's your Brownlow tip? Lucas said to pass on his Jack Steele and Jack's Ollie Wines.
Righto.
Tell them they
just
both have no idea.
one of the greatest Brownlow nights of my memory, mate, was this one with the great Jim Steins.
Yeah,
I know they'll
that
be
was good.
sitting up
Did
there
you read-
watching on.
Did you read that article yesterday, Az?
Fantastic article on the
Really
great
good.
Jimmer, for sure. And
Really good. What an icon of our game, but what an icon of this life. What a just one of the truly great gentlemen.
yep, sure was.
Hey, quick one.
Funniest-
What are your thoughts on?
Funniest thing,
Sorry, Lovey. What are your thoughts on who's given the Premiership Cup? Happy with both of them?
no.
Not
Fucking
happy
Gary
with this
Lawler,
bloke.
seriously. No. His backstabbing and back office crap between 2009 and 2014 nearly killed your club. Don't forget that. He has been the architect of some very, very dark days at that footy club. So I was disappointed that Gary Lyon was actually nominated. Is Gary Lyon coming on our podcast next week?
Not anymore. Righto.
Okay.
Along with Buddy.
I think
who else are we
I think we'll
offended?
cover that one off. We'll cover that one
You go.
off on the next show because
You
I
go.
actually support you on that one, Lovey. So I haven't forgotten those days. That's for sure. And sadly, this badge has still made it, but it's a young Gary Lyon. That was back in the good old days, and he
Was that
slipped
in
a
his
little
Oz kick days on Channel 7?
bit. Yeah, I think with Spud. Yep.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
3 members of my family who are like you, as passionate Melbourne supporters, they're the same about Gary Lyon. No, I've never met Gary Lyon, but they very good footballer. But as you said, Lovey, conniving and backstabbing was the words that they described how some of the things he did to that club when they weren't going well for whatever reason.
Yeah. Righto.
So in terms of the other Premiership Cup presenter, Chris Grant, 100% support.
Yeah, great one.
Yep.
Great man.
Yeah, it was that is a definite good appointment, and I'm going to put a shout out to any Demon fans of mine, mates of mine, and also Doggies mates of mine or yours. I want to come on the show during the week. We're going to have a show during the week. Be great to do a shout out or a quick comment from any of them. And a good mate of mine, Jason Innes, who's put together myheartbeatstrue.com, which is a go-to website now that he's actually listed all social medias and all sorts of things, and it's a one-stop shop for all Demon news, mate. So well done, Jason. I'm sure plenty of people are going to support that. So look forward to it, boys. I think we're going to do a show during the week.
Yep. Are we thinking sort of later towards maybe Thursday night after teams have been selected? Does that sit with everybody?
Well, I think you're deciding it for us, Cuz. Only when you're available, mate. You know, we know you're a busy man.
Yeah, when you're not sleeping.
Do we have
Thank
to do
you
a 4
very
o'clock
much for your
start?
kind words yet again.
We have to do a 4 o'clock start and ease into the day after your nap. What do we do, Cuz? What time? Give us a time as well. Tell the viewers.
I think we do maybe a 5 o'clock Thursday night.
Righto. Some people are still working, but anyway.
All right. Yeah. Sorry, I'm still actually online doing my job.
Okay, I apologise then. So thank you for the feedback. Let's know then from both of you. Let's go to 7 o'clock Thursday night then.
I'm doing my ironing then. No, that'd be good for
work, Mr. Cusack, and I know where you work, Mr. Love. So speak to your bosses. I know where they both are. So
that'll be good.
7 o'clock Thursday night.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock sounds good. So 7 o'clock
Fantastic.
Thursday night. Look forward to
And I'll have a little update for you both on our other little discussion about the pickled onions.
Right, look forward to that.
I've noticed 3 times tonight he's mentioned pickled onions, but there's been a pause before. It's like his brain just fades out before he actually says pickled
onions, but it's actually pickled onions. I need to get it right.
Well, he's used to back in the good old days, the old braised steak and onions. They used to go in the old jaffles, mate.
Yeah.
Another one my old man used to love. That's for sure.
Braised steak.
Oh yeah.
What does can someone please explain again? What does braised mean?
Well, I think braised mean it was left on the grill. I think it wasn't too much steak. I think it was steak seasoning. There wasn't too much steak in it. Let's just have a quick flash of this. Won't take long. The quick number 60s. Even stuck.
Scraping the barrel, we had to put the 60 Minutes logo on there.
Yeah, we had to do. Who can forget who can forget that great number 60 with the old? You knew exactly what time it was, didn't you? Sunday night special.
An iconic soundtrack, wasn't it? Back to 60 Minutes.
I vaguely recall a couple of podcasts back a certain St Kilda player who also wore the number 1 brilliantly for the Mighty Saints, but he also wore the number 60. It was a late, great Trevor Barker. And he was along with Plugger. I remember going to Moorabbin a couple of times in the 80s there as a kid. And if it wasn't Plugger that everyone was screaming to either punch someone's head in or kick goals, they were waiting for Barks to take a hanger and just be absolutely dominant as only he could be.
Absolutely.
So sad that he was lost to the game so early, because I actually reckon he would have an influence, if it's not St Kilda still, over the game itself by now. I reckon he was just brilliant for the sport.
Yep, sure was. I definitely remember as a kid out in the backyard or out in the front street there, taking a big hanger and Barker on top of everyone. Just how good was
it? Dad,
well,
every time we played the Saints, even though we'd kick them or beat them, whatever, he always said, they've got to recruit Trevor Barker next year. We've got to get Trevor Barker next year.
And that's a good point, Lovey. That was just the mark of the man, that we know how St Kilda struggled during those periods, but he was so good. Like, didn't matter what the conditions, and we know what Moorabbin used to be like back in winter. He would mark and kick the ball beautifully.
Loyal.
Yeah.
Loyal man. And him and Robbie Flower cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, tulip.
Yep, absolutely. Look forward to having a chat about some of the good old players. Maybe we dig up a couple from each of the Demons and the Bulldogs in the old Footscray days. We'll find a couple of players and just give our little reflections on what we remember as them as when we were kids and what we thought of them as a player. So we'll give you a bit of homework, cuz.
Saturday will be the second time they're playing the grand final. That's correct, isn't it?
Well done, mate. You're using all the material for next week's show. Well done.
Yeah, good. Thanks.
All good,
you asked me to do a bit of research. I've done some for you, and a little bit some.
Yeah, we just maybe picked the right topic for it.
A little bit early. We're doing it Thursday. Remember, Thursday night from 7. We look forward to that chat tonight. Tune into the Brownlow and enjoy.
Enjoy.
Final note on that. What are the chances Kaz starts talking about the cricket on Thursday night because of that? Can't wait. Anyway.
No disrespect. I don't like the game. Even though we'll let it go back and play cricket according to Dash and Dan today.
Oh, shut this potty off quick.
See you, lads.
Right, take it easy. Enjoy.
See you, boys. Thank you.
See you, boys.
Oliver.